One of the players that has created quite a few headlines so far this season on his future is Conor Gallagher. Now, he's started 19 of Chelsea's 20 Premier League games this season. He's been captain in the absence of Reece James, but with 18 months left on his contract, plenty of speculation on his future. And Mauricio Pochettino, the Chelsea manager, was asked just about that man earlier on today.
Look, I cannot guarantee that I'm going to be here tomorrow. Do you see that I can guarantee another thing? No, I can. Look, in football, with us, it's different part of the thing can happen, decision, and it's in between the club and the player. I cannot, only the player can guarantee, or the club. The player more than the club, because if the player have 1 year and a half more, he can stay. He can say, yes, I'm going to be here because my contract allows me to be here. And then the club is in negotiation always about to take the best decision for the club, for the player, for the team.
Yeah, interesting response there from Mauricio Pochettino. Stephen, I think it's clear that you have to separate what happens with the head coach and what happens with the football club when it comes to transfers, particularly at Chelsea. But with 18 months left on his contract, even though he's starting, as I mentioned, 19 out of 20 Premier League games, are you surprised at the situation that Conor Gallagher's in just now?
I am really surprised. I hope it's to the benefit of Tottenham if he was to go there, because I think he's a wonderful footballer. I really do. I think he's excelled this season. He's taken that mantle of captaincy on as well in a team that's been up and down, but I think he's been a consistent performer. And I think for Pochettino not to come out and just say, I want him here, regardless of what happens, I want him to be part of this club, which I would have been, I suppose, as a player as well. It would be nice to hear from the manager. So I find it interesting that that's not what was said. Maybe he just overshot and didn't think about it, was trying to just put it to one side and not get drawn into it, because he knows obviously stuff has to be sorted out, and he knows probably what happened previously with Mason Mount. That he doesn't want to be drawn into a situation like that again. But I'm sure Conor Gallagher would have been happy if the manager had said, I want him here, he's part of my plans, I see him as a mainstay in the future for Chelsea Football Club. That's going to go down a long way with a player, I think.
The information that we have on Conor Gallagher is that he is happy at Chelsea. We're not clear yet whether talks have got underway with regard to a new contract or whether he's going to assess all of his options with 1 year left of his contract. But we know with FFP and particularly the financial implications with Chelsea that Conor Gallagher, if he was to get sold, would represent pure profit for Chelsea, given he's an academy product. But Michael, he has been linked with Tottenham before, and I think they came close. Well, they had a little dabble, didn't they, on deadline day?
They had a dabble. I mean, there's certainly interest, and Ange Postecoglou is a big fan of Conor Gallagher. But I have to say this, transfers between Tottenham and Chelsea just do not happen. I mean, you see it a lot with Arsenal and Chelsea. Spurs and Chelsea, never. I mean, occasionally you get... I mean, the last one I think I remember was Gus Poyet.
I was going to say Gus was the last one.
Gus Poyet, probably. I mean, Kudjachini went on a free. But there's such intense rivalry between those two football clubs. However, listening to Mauricio Pochettino there, what I would say, though, is Mauricio Pochettino at Spurs press conferences would always say, I'm the head coach. Yeah. I'm the head coach. But clearly, he's not been instructed to say Conor Gallagher is 100% going to stay. But when there were reports last Saturday about potential talks about Gallagher and Tottenham, you saw all the Chelsea fans. One, he's been captain for them for the vast majority of the season. And two, they do not want to see him at Tottenham.
It'd be crazy as well, because the way, from what we all know of Poch and what he did at Tottenham, Gallagher is like the perfect player for him in the sense of young, energy, hungry, gets around the pitch really well. That's the type of player he loves to have in his team, enthusiastic, got goals in him, can come from midfield and join in. You're kind of thinking the Dele Alli and that role that you play, and he looks like the perfect fit for a Pochettino team. So it would be really strange, and like I said, they just don't happen.
Anything else Tottenham do apart from a defender, I'm told, has to rely on any outgoings. When we talked about deadline day in the summer, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was free to speak to other clubs. He ended up staying. Now, there's no news on him at the moment, but there are reports that he would like a fresh challenge. So it'd be interesting to see there. I think anything in terms of Gallagher might be a last week job again.
Just very quickly, Stephen, on Chelsea, all the talk has been on they need a striker. They need an experienced striker in that squad. How big a difference do you think that would make for the rest of their season?
Same would make the Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea. That's it. Like, we're talking about the three biggest names in English football almost, and all of them are screaming out for that central striker, an experienced striker that can guarantee you goals. How hard is to get one of those players? There's a lot of people, Ivan Toney's on the lips of a lot of players, a lot of teams, because he's coming back. He's going to be able to play soon. You know, it's been a long time since he kicked the ball in the Premier League. What will he be like in the first few games back? How long will it take him to get going? Are those teams willing to spend what would probably be around £100 million to get a player like that in? It's hard to know, and can they do it with fair play? So, but yeah, obviously a player of high calibre in a central striking position, which Chelsea have lacked for a little while now, would obviously make a massive difference to them.